French. I'm a business doctor, specialised in planning and strategy, and you'll be hearing me from me shortly. So I'll leave it at that. Thank you very much.
Great, thank you, Jason. So the next is James, please.
Thanks, Yasmin. I'm James Godsall from Dukes Insurance Brokers. We're an independent family-run brokerage over in Bromsgrove in Worcestershire. And we've been proudly serving customers across Bromsgrove, Worcestershire and the wider UK for nearly 60 years now. We provide both commercial and personal insurance solutions. So on the personal side, it's things like your private motor, household and so on. On the business side, I really focus on supporting other small, independent to medium-sized businesses through the region. We really look to provide you with the cover that you need to match your unique requirements, and we have our own claims team as well for when things occasionally go wrong. So that's James from Dukes Insurance Brokers. Thank you.
Great, thank you, James. If we go over to Melissa, please.
Can everyone hear? Okay. I'm Melissa Mooney from EQS Management Systems. I help businesses grow and improve their systems and processes with environmental management and business standards. So these are standards such as ISO 9001, which you may have heard of, 14001, which is an environmental management system standard. So I implement standards, I audit systems against standards, I identify legal requirements, legal environmental requirements. I can develop documentation for your company, and I can identify impacts that your business has on the environment and help you to identify and put in place improvements to reduce your impact and improve your environmental performance. And my aim is to provide clarity and understanding. I appreciate a lot of these things are very difficult things to get your head around, and solutions to help you move your business forward. Thank you. One thing to share is stay positive.
Thanks, Melissa. Next is Dean, please.
Good afternoon, everybody. So I'm Dean Hazelwood, Kingsford Events. So we provide event management and event safety advisory services, covering all sorts of events from business conferences right through to outdoor festival work, usually in the summer. So we'll basically support anybody who's thinking of running an event, will that be a conference or any other kind of event, but they might not have the resources, staff, etc., the experience or the knowledge of where to start and how to go about it. So we'll basically support them to put the event together, plan it and deliver it. At the moment, obviously, we're pretty quiet, so we're just waiting it out now till we can perhaps get started again, but the way it's going, that could be quite a while. But once it does all get going, we'll be there ready to support clients in putting on their events and communicating with their staff and clients, and hopefully letting people have a good time as well.
Thank you, Dean. Next is Kathy.
Hi, I'm Kathy Scott from Hands On at Work. We're an on-site massage company and wellbeing services. Needless to say, there's no massaging going on at the moment because you can't social distance while you're doing that, unless we've got a 6 foot long pole, but we're trying not to do that. We're looking obviously at anything that we could do online as well. So we have therapists who do sessions such as laughter yoga, mindfulness, meditation. So we're looking at providing those sorts of services now, and also putting together wellbeing packages for the future. obviously we don't know sort of how long that's going to be, but we're keeping our presence by doing social media, sort of blog posts and preparing presentations and that sort of thing. So just sort of trying to think forward really, as you know, if the massaging doesn't come on board till much later on, what else we can do for our clients in the meantime. Okay.
Thanks, Kathy. Okay, next is Claire.
Hi, sorry, Popman's clicking a button. I'm Claire Croft from V8 Media. We are a digital agency based in the heart of Hereford, though currently a little bit out of town actually, but anyway. We specialise in website design, bespoke programming, social media management, marketing, etc. Basically everything to do with the internet. So at the moment we're doing a lot of support, just generally seeing how we can support our clients in them working remotely, supporting their teams remotely and their customer base. So that's us, V8 Media. Oh, just really quickly, Kathy, if you could maybe put a link up to your mindfulness or anything like that, I'd be really interested to have a look at that. Thanks.
Great, thank you, Claire. Next is Matt.
Afternoon, everybody. I'm Matt Thomas. I have a consultancy called Equilibria, and I look to assist those companies looking to build sustainability and resilience into their business models from a sort of an environmental and social perspective. I also help companies to invest sustainably. So that's investment into those investments that do not have adverse social or environmental impacts. Also very interested in technology investment, and I hope very shortly to be involved in a really exciting technology investment project as well. But certainly I'd like to speak with those companies who are very interested in taking their sustainability to the next level, or frankly, maybe even introducing it at scratch. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Matt. Next is Jo.
Hello everybody, my name's Jo Widdowson. I'm the marketing manager for Blueprint Direct Mail in Droitwich. As it says on the tin, we are a direct mail services supplier. We create engaging and interactive direct mail solutions, primarily for B2C clients, but not exclusively. We work very closely with our clients. We offer very cost-effective solutions, and we are very, very keen on giving top quality customer service. And we also have ISO accreditation for quality control, for environmental awareness, and for data security. These are all very important to us. And I'd love to be able to tell anybody about how we can help them engage with their audiences whilst they're sat at home. Okay, thank you very much.
Thanks, Jo. Next is Martin, please.
Yes, good afternoon, everybody. Martin Hannay from Spenify UK. We are a software company, normally based in Malvern, but at the moment based in Shrawley, in between Stourport and Worcester. We specialise in knowledge and work management through our application and toolset, helping people develop playbooks to better manage their processes and implement change quickly, which is a particularly useful facet under the current situation. We've been operating since last year and looking to work with businesses of all sizes to, as I say, help them better manage their processes, communicate and collaborate with their wider business community, and essentially help in any way we can at the moment. So that's me, Martin Hannay from Spenify UK.
Thanks, Martin. Next is Jonathan.
Sorry, a bit of technical problem there. So this is Jonathan Moffat of Auditel. I specialise in helping clients, larger commercial clients, with their energy and water and other bills, like checking all the bills, organising the contracts, battling with the likes of British Gas. A tip for anybody who's in a business premises: if like you're working with a reduced number of staff or your premises is closed, make sure you take electricity and gas readings at least once a month and report them to the supplier, so your bills are based on the actual consumption rather than the estimated consumption, which will probably be much higher, because of course they'll be estimating it based on previous consumption when the whole economy is running rather well. So that's a good suggestion as well. The other thing to watch out for is if your site is closed because of water, you can report a temporary closure to Water Plus and save on water bills for several weeks. I'll put up the URL in the chat box for about the water. Okay, that's me.
Great, thanks, Jonathan. If anyone does have any links or their details they'd like to share, then please do put them in the chat box. Next, we have Adri.
Hi everyone, yes, Adri or Adriana from the Chamber. My role's changed slightly recently in light of the crisis, very much helping our 1,500 members and other local organisations sort of provide government advice support out there. We have been quite proactive, taking lots of inbound calls, outbound calls as well, collating the data to help feedback to the government and help with implementing some change as well. As you can see, we're running our weekly webinars. I think the networking one's going down really well with our members, and we're looking to launch training, online training courses as well as of next week. So if you've got any feedback on where you think your business could sort of gain in terms of training, any new ideas, we'd love to hear about those. Yeah, happy to do some one-to-ones as well. So if you've got any specific COVID or any other related questions, please feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn, or you know, speak to Yasmin, and she'll send my details through by email. If you are a member, obviously, we would love to hear from some new businesses as well. You do get 10% off your membership to the Chamber if you do make a referral through to us. So I just wanted to add that in there. So yes, Adriana from the Chamber.
Thank you, Adri. Next is Holly.
Hi everyone. So my name's Holly Copson. I'm a social media consultant, manager and copywriter at Copson Social Limited. I've been working in social media for just over 10 years and set up my business last year. I offer all aspects of social media management, so everything from auditing existing channels to looking at your strategic approach, what you should be standing for on social media, what you should be saying, and really putting a kind of a blueprint together. Right through to content creation. I also do kind of other digital copywriting like blogs, etc. As well. Social media campaigns, whether it's Facebook, LinkedIn, advertising, that sort of thing, and then through to evaluation and analysis. And I just like to share that, you know, social media is obviously, you know, it's been an important part of marketing for a long time, but I think now even more so, because obviously, you know, as we can see today, a lot of the more traditional ways of kind of getting your brand out there and networking and promoting yourself aren't possible anymore. So I just really encourage everybody to have a really good look at their social media, make sure they're making the most of it. I think I read this morning there's been a 38% uplift in UK internet users using social media. So yeah, it's important, but now more than ever. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Holly. Next is Kim, please.
Hi there. My name's Kim Parker. I'm relocating into the area to near Hereford, and I'm not actually there yet. But behind me, you can see the view of the place I'm going to be moving to, which is where I'm going to be running my retreats. So I'm a coach. I coach professionals. This is the time when it's really important for us to know why we're here. Like, why are we here? A lot of people of a certain age start questioning, why are they here? What meaning? What's my purpose? and they can need some support with that. So that's what I do. I help people reconnect with their true purpose, their deepest desires, and their innate wisdom, so that the decisions they make really support them in the creation of the life they truly long for. And so that's partly through coaching and partly through my retreats. Kim Parker, thank you.
Great, thank you, Kim. Next is Dalvi, please. Dalvi, you're...
Is that better?
We are.
There
That's
we go.
much better, yes.
Hi, Dalvi Humza. I'm a plastic surgeon based with offices in Bromsgrove, but we cover from Worcester, Wolverhampton, right the way down to Gloucester. We run plastic surgery, non-surgical aesthetics, as well as teaching medical practitioners. So we've changed our teaching to virtual learning environments. So that's to deal with our teaching, but also in terms of our customers, because we're not doing any operating at the moment. We've also launched a brand new skincare range for our clients, and we're just in the process of trying to get that out to them to cope with being at home, so that they can still stay in touch with us. So anyone who wants any skincare, you're more than welcome to try our MDH skin range. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Next is Alan.
Hello, everybody. Alan Clark. I'm a business coach, management coach, and trainer, and also author. Written an ebook called Simply Manage, and that's really down to the essence of my coaching, is to help people focus directly onto their issues, dig down to the root cause, and solve the right problem right away. Okay, I'm based in Redditch, but I cover both individual business owners and medium-sized companies. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Alan. Next is Jane. Oh, do you want me to do it for you, Jane? There we go.
Thank you. Thank you. Sorry about that. Hi, everybody. I'm Money Saving Jane, and I can help you save money on your utilities, both domestic and commercial. And now that you've got a bit of time to review your bills and things, perhaps now's a good time to get in contact and I can see what I can do for you. I'll put my details out on the chat so you've all got you know where to contact me. And it'd be lovely to hear from you. And good luck. Stay safe for everybody. Thank you. Bye.
Great. Thank you, Jane. Next is Graham.
Oh. Hello, everybody. Oops, I've got to find my notes now. Who's gone and lost my notes? Why do you believe that? Right. Okay, it's Serendipity, which is where I come from. It's Graham Bailey's from Serendipity Online Marketing. We have a mission statement, and it's simply this: stopping our clients' cash going into their competitors' bank accounts. And we achieve this by increasing the level of targeted traffic to their website by harnessing the power of Google. Basically, until we have worked with the business to improve their Google rankings and increase their traffic levels, their competitors who have done the work are winning the orders that should be by right won by our clients. The result of which is that their cash that should have gone into their bank account ends in their competitor's bank account. In a nutshell, we help websites become fit for purpose so that the business can gain the sales and opportunities that it deserves. In light of the current crisis, we have allocated space for 10 free audits. Normally these are running at £299, but for the time being, they're being given free on a first come, first served basis. So if you're interested in improving your website by driving more traffic to it, then please take advantage of my offer. It's Graham Bayliss, Serendipity Online Marketing, and good luck to all.
Great, thank you, Graham. Next is Natalie.
Hi, I am squeaky, I'm losing my voice. So I'm Natalie Cook, I'm the registered manager for Home Instead Senior Care, it's that way. We're based in Hereford. We've been providing solutions, as you can imagine, in these difficult times for all of our clients and some new clients, which is great. We have an effective amount of PPE. The pile is over there in my living room because we're now working from home. So what do? We're relationship led. We look after the emotional well-being of our seniors living out in Hereford. We're very different to the prescribed care that you would normally see in the Hereford area. So we're not, it's not that we don't work with local authority. They have a teapot of providers who do what they want. We do personal care, we do medication, but primarily we keep people connected to their communities, connected to their families. Caregivers use tablets at the moment so that they can do video calls with their families. So we're all about solutions for our elderly out in the community. We do have a introduction fee for our chamber members. So if somebody was from our chamber was to introduce a client to us and the care started, we would pay you £100. That was the only benefit we could come up with, unless you wanted an hour of free care, which means you get to listen to me for a little while. And that's really it. So we're Home Instead Senior Care based in Hereford.
Great, thank you, Natalie. Just like Natalie, you can all do offers for chamber members and put them on your members area on our website. If you'd like to know some more information on how you do that, then please let me know after and I can assist with that. Thank you, Natalie. Next is Alison.
Hi everybody, I'm Alison and I am the networking coach. But what does that even mean? It means that I help you nail your 60-second elevator pitch to help tell the story of how you help your clients. When we were in the old times of face-to-face, I would help you understand how to approach a group of strangers without taking over. So basically my training, it used to be in-house for companies, and I'm still doing one-to-one Zoom training, but basically it's helping you to make sales in your networking community without actually selling. You're there to add value, you're there to listen and find out about everybody else, and it will come back round. But you need a plan, you need a purpose, and you need a strategy for your networking. So that's what I do. At the moment, I'm keeping busy, loads of Zoom networking, and I've been invited to speak at events. And I've now been talking about Zoom networking etiquette because I'm seeing some right funny things that should never have been seen, but I can't scratch off my mind. So I've come up with a PDF of my tips for networking etiquette. If anybody would like it, I'll pop my details in the chat box. Thanks ever so much, and it's lovely to see you all here today.
Sounds fab, Alison. Great. We'll move on to Steve, please.
Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. Yep, we are Borwell, and through the wizardry of modern technology, as Boris said, we are supporting our customers with software engineering services, looking after their business systems, and also our cyber team are securing those business systems to make sure that they're not vulnerable to attack. Tips from me, I've got one, my main tip is work a regular day. So I used to work about 8:30 till 6. So I've basically continued to work exactly that same day. And in my iPhone, I've set out times for coffee breaks, lunch break, and starting and stopping my day to try and be disciplined about that. Second thing is call people. Don't do selling at the moment. People aren't buying anyway, but just call people, call your contacts, see how they are. A really good opening question is, how are you adjusting? It's not asking if they're in panic or if they're feeling good or if they're furloughing people or negative. It's just an open question to see how they're adjusting. Keep your contacts warm for the autumn is my prediction. And then the third thing, behind me is this thing called Planet Earth. Geography no longer figures in business. So where we were selling in Worcestershire and maybe Birminghamshire, as I call it, or maybe even going down to Oxfordshire, we are now able, through the power of technology, to sell globally. So I've had an opportunity in my inbox this morning for £250 million worth of software and cybersecurity work in the UAE. and the guy is in discussions with me about how we could figure with that. Obviously, we can't start that work yet, but by the autumn, there'll be some work there. So just reaching out, like the people have said earlier about social media, reach out through LinkedIn, and it's amazing how people are reacting. So you keep those contacts warm and keep busy on LinkedIn, but don't spend too much time on it. Just manage that. Thank you. Thanks, Yasmin.
Great, thanks, Steve. Next is Dave, please.
Hi, my name's Dave Hales. I run a company called Leading Edge Power, just south of Hereford. We manufacture bespoke off-grid solutions using sort of renewable technologies, and we sell into sort of business-to-business environment, running things like rural broadband, humanitarian aid, environmental monitoring, meteorological equipment, and sort of security cameras and things like that. So that's it. Thanks.
Great, thanks, Dave. Next is Vicky.
Hi, sorry. I'm Vicky Price from Berries. I'm a surveyor, chartered surveyor and registered RICS valuer. Berries are based in the centre of Hereford, so we do planning, consultancy, property and anything sort of related. My role is very much residential, commercial and property valuations and consultancy advice around those. So a little bit of agency and lettings, but also we work with a lot of businesses to do business plans for finance. So where they're borrowing money from banks, we'll secure that for them and put plans together in places. And that's on all over all sectors. I also work alongside our planning and architects team to do sort of appraisals and related stuff for that, and option agreements on development. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Vicky. And last but not least, Debbie.
Hi, morning everybody. Well, afternoon, sorry. The days are disappearing. Nice to meet you all. It's the first time I've attended a networking event, but I work for Warwickshire College Group. Basically, my role is to specialise in engaging with employers and businesses that are looking to recruit apprentices within the digital sector. So predominantly digital marketing, infrastructure technicians, software developers and network engineers. So obviously in today's economic climate, there isn't a great deal going on, and quite understandably. But the other side of what I do in partnership with Warwickshire College is online short courses. So obviously we've noticed a fairly big drop in apprenticeship interest, which is, you know, exactly what you would expect, but a huge increase in sort of short digital courses for furloughed staff. So basically that's me. I'm based at the Leamington Spa college site, but I operate throughout sort of Worcestershire and Coventry and Warwickshire. But I operate under the name of Digital West Midlands, which is a joint venture company. So that's me, Debbie Scotton. Lovely to meet you all, and thank you for making me feel so welcome on my first event.
Oh, great. Thanks, Debbie. I hope you enjoy networking. Like I said earlier, if you want to exchange details, you're able to put them in the chat box, and you can actually message people privately on the chat box. If you go onto the drop down button, if you want to message someone privately, you can also do that. Just before I hand over to Jason then, I just wanted to talk about the upcoming webinars that the Chamber are running. So we've actually got one later today, 3 till 4, and that's on using Zoom. So it's a basic 1 hour short course on how to use Zoom. Then we've got maximising your sleep during the pandemic, and that's next Tuesday, 10 till 11 with Y Sleep. And then we will be doing our networking sessions every Thursday at the same time. if you want to book onto those. If you do want to receive our e-shots that go out weekly with all of our upcoming webinars on, then please let me know and I can add you onto that. But without further ado, I'd like to hand over to Jason. Thank you.
Hi everybody, fantastic to be back. I've not been around for quite a while with the Chambers things, but I have been networking like 10 men. Just going to share my screen with you and get underway with my presentation. So that's the title of the event today, is Don't Panic Planet. And it all surrounds, let me just make sure that my clickings work. There we go. So surrounds this little fella, this little fluffy bundle of joy and its arrival on the scene. Because since that's happened, there's been a general upending of what we all perceive as reality. Since then, there's been quite an effort to get to grips with it, with things being done and achieved in just a few months that just a few months ago would have been pure fiction, to be honest. Along with that, however, there's been massive noise. It's very loud and confusing, with lots of offers of support, help, government information, special cases everywhere, and it is, of course, changing all the time. So much so that it can be difficult for businesses to be able to commit to taking any specific concrete action. So this presentation was put together as a result of talking with my customers and collaborating with business doctors across the country. And finding out what businesses are actually feeling at the moment. And most of you will be living that yourselves. The messages coming across are confusion and concern around cash, sales, what people are doing with their people, the general uncertainty, and all similar themes that are coming across out of all sorts of different businesses. So what is needed in this uncertainty and chaos is a simple and actionable plan designed to get businesses through the next 3 to 6 months only. And that's what I'd like to share with you today. It is a straightforward 6-step plan to ensure that you don't lose sight of what you have in terms of value. It talks about a reality check of the current situation and what that means for you. It's about being able to lead. It's about being able to set a clear direction of travel and how we mobilize those directions and goals into some sort of tangible plan that you and your team can go out and deliver even when you're operating remotely. So this here is a change curve. Based on the Kubler-Ross grief curve. Elizabeth Kubler-Ross was a psychiatrist who introduced the concept back in 1969, and it details really people's normal reaction to bad or tragic news. And there's 5 stages of the cycle that most of us will have experienced to some degree and seen around them. First, we have shock and denial. This is not happening, it's only in China, it's only old people, it's just a cold, we'll be back at work by Easter. But as that denial fades, then it is replaced by anger. Whose fault is this? Why weren't we told? Conspiracy theories, the Chinese wanted to depress the stock market, 5G was doing it, you know, blame, 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 very useful stuff. But as that exhausts itself, we begin to bargain. Support packages are there. Can I have money? Can I have support? How about no tax? All natural responses from any business leader. However, they all have a common feature and theme, and that is, how can I get through this situation without actually having to change? And then reality begins to hit home. We're not out soon. A couple of key customers fall over, some of the suppliers stop or go under, the loan will not be approved. I'm exactly on the situation where the loan doesn't apply to me, and all of these things start to become clear and we become sad. And this is the stage of depression. If you're here, you can take heart from the fact that you're ahead of most other people at the moment. And finally, what happens, we begin to accept this, accept our situation, and it's at this stage that we truly begin to come back. This is where we can re-engage rational thought, begin to take decisions, actions, but this takes courage. You're going into a dark tunnel, you don't know how long it is, you don't know how long it's going to last, but you are taking control and you are doing. And that puts your mind in a very different place. But I will say beware, because we don't just move through the stages of this cycle one at a time in a neat kind of linear way. That would be far too easy. What actually happens is that we occupy different stages at different times, and we can even move back to stages that we've been in before. They can last for different periods of time, they can replace each other, they can exist side by side. So ideally, it would be good to think that we'll reach the stage of acceptance and stay there. But the reality is that we'll bounce backwards and forwards of that. You know, there's good news, there's bad news, there's good and bad days, all sorts of things. And that's okay. So this 6-step plan that I'm going to share with you is designed to get us through all of this curve as quickly as possible so that we can get ourselves balanced and agile in order to deal with whatever the world is getting ready to throw us. So what do we do first? Well, the first thing is to take a step back and take a little bit of time out of the mayhem that's happening, and think about the fact that we actually do have a great business. Yeah, we've been established for a number of years, or possibly only for some months, but we have been in business. We have a proposition that works. We have customers that have had put their hand in their pocket and paid us money for what we do. We're profitable and will be again. All of a sudden, obviously, we've got something that has happened that we weren't equipped to deal with, something which has never happened before. And it's really, really important that we don't lose sight of the fact that this is going to end. We are going to come out of it. We will resume normal service. And then we're going to be in businesses that are likely to be a lot stronger, a lot better, and a lot more sustainable than they were when we went into it. So let's take care of the gloom and doom. Let's remember how great our business is, take stock, think about the future, and once we've done that, we can move on to having a true reality check. And that reality check is about understanding the current situation, understanding what ground zero looks like. This is the proper acceptance phase that I was talking about earlier before. Remember that you and your team are probably already at ground zero, and you can probably see, feel, and hear the reality of it, and it's very scary for everybody. But in order to deal with what's happening, we need to make sure that we understand what it looks like, and I call it taking a good look in the mirror. That mirror will reflect reality, and there's really just 3 things to look at in that reflection. The first one is we need to understand our sales pipeline. Do we know what sales we're going to make over the next 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6 months? How are we going to manage that pipeline? Don't sugarcoat it. Look at the reality. Make sure we've spoken to our customers, make sure we've understood and quantified whether that business is actually going to happen and that it's still there. Take the time to talk to them to understand the pain that they are in and get a reality check on your current sales pipeline. Don't forget that the easiest source of new income is always existing customers. So maintaining that relationship will mean that they will be the first to provide you with the new income as soon as possible. So knowing as much as possible about your sales is going to inform the next and most important challenge that everyone's facing at the moment, and that is cash. So as far as the cash goes, do we actually have a handle on our numbers? Do we understand right now what our true cash position is in terms of money we're owed, money that we are owed, what the daily picture looks like? Have we got a real-time understanding of that position? And if we haven't, we need to get one. I have a number of suggestions and tools which will help you with that if you need it, which I'll cover a bit more later on. There's a number of things we need to look at, including cash preservation. We need to understand how we can retain cash that we're otherwise going to pay out, now that it is all a lot tighter. There's a lot of soft suppliers, including HMRC, who will be willing to have a conversation with you. So talk to everybody to whom you owe money, your suppliers, possibly your landlord, HMRC. Get payment holidays wherever you can so you can hold onto your cash as much as possible. All of that I'll caveat with, don't simply not pay them without talking to them. You must have a conversation with them so that they know that you might not be able to pay them. And don't forget that they will, of course, have their own cash flow pressures as well. Talking to those suppliers that are perhaps a little bit more willing to explore a longer term payment cycle. If they're big companies or public sector organizations, they're very conscious of the great PR they can generate in helping you. They might be very forgiving in terms of money that you owe to them. If they're your customers, they might also be very forgiving in that they may pay you more quickly. And obviously look at those suppliers that you need to protect, that like you are also in need of cash right now. So prioritize the payments you're making in order to help them out. Look at the non-direct supply chain that you have that isn't going to interrupt your business. Then the third element of the reality check is your people. And we really need to understand this. Where are they? Have they gone home? Are they working at home with all the pressures that working from home entails? Have they been furloughed? Do they know what's going on with your business as their employer? Are we at risk of those people not being around anymore because they may even be in a situation where they're not well? Are they concerned for the family right now more so than they are about your business? It's more important than ever that you talk to your people, because if it's just you, talk to yourself. Have a one-to-one conversation with yourself. Articulate what you're concerned with, because when you articulate a problem, you make it real and you can deal with it much easier. So now we've taken a really close look at the reality of the current situation, and that gives us a platform to work from, which begs the question, what are we going to do about it? How are we going to actually put some plans together and put some goals and targets together that take us to a place which is realistically the point where we can improve on the current position? And that's what I call having a 90-day plan. So how can you develop a vision, some goals, some targets to demonstrate leadership from you? Because your people are going to be looking for confidence, that you can see a future, that you can see a way through this, and that you can lead them through it, and that you can understand the reality of the situation you're in, but still build on that and create some achievable goals over the next 90 days or so. Because people who are in crisis aren't after money. They want to have direction, they want to have purpose, they want to know that they matter. They need to know that what they're doing is helping and that it matters, gives them confidence, hope, and meaning. And that's very, very important right now. And then we can start having a look at leadership and confidence, what your planning periods need to look like. What do they need to focus on? You know, funnily enough, it comes back to those three areas again: sales, cash, and people. By now we know what ground zero looks like, so we've got a starting point for the plan, but we need to focus on a sales plan. Having understood where our customers are, because we've been really, really honest and have really good discussions with them, and we understand their pain, what can we do to support them? What can we do to sell more to them? What can we do to try and retain them during this period, even if they cannot use our services right now? How can we ensure that the community or the continuity of sales comes from the existing customers? Are there new customers that we can look out for? Because there are other businesses that may now, in the current situation, be in a position where they need what we do and possibly need what we do, having not previously done so. There's a number of businesses out there in really high demand positions, supplying the NHS, supplying delivery services, supplying people at home. There's a number of areas in the market which are really high demand at the moment. So how can we be agile? How can we wrap business around those? So your sales plan will need to address all of these points and have actions that you can undertake to generate contacts and sales. If not now, a little bit further down the road. So what does that mean in terms of cash generation? A sales target. Understand what it's going to do to our cash, and more importantly, what organization do we need in terms of people, in terms of resources, in terms of time to actually deliver on the services and products that we're going to sell over the next 3 months or so. So get a plan. A goal without a plan is just a wish, and a plan without action is a waste of time. So how do we go about implementing the plan? Well, the most important thing is really around communication and leadership. We need to actually look at the plan in terms of what we need to communicate, understand the roles and responsibilities to take a plan forward, which may be very different from how your company is structured at the moment, and recognize that right now we ourselves have actually been doing one of the critical roles that needs to be fulfilled over the next 90 days, which is being a leader. We need to demonstrate leadership. We need to get our teams on side. We need to get their ideas. We need to engage them and get a sense from them what contribution they can make, what flexibility they can give to us. This goes back to them being able to help us and give them meaning. In some respects, you've already covered a big challenge by simply joining us here on this webinar, getting to grips with how remote working works. So don't forget, you can rise to all of these challenges. And most importantly, how we're going to actually measure this plan and make sure it's achievable. I know that Alan Clark will be turning over in his grave from a Deming perspective, but if you don't measure stuff, you cannot understand whether it's changing and if it's improving. Making sure that your finances and financial position, and therefore the records, are all up to date. Because it's only through doing that that you can come together and put together a sales plan that is sensible and achievable. Working out what you're going to spend on. Companies that are in cash crisis tend to cut things like marketing, and they cut their future business generation for the sake of the present pain, and that can actually lead to more problems. So be courageous and sensible, but you can only do that by understanding the situation, understanding the cash flow record, updating things daily, planning stuff, more importantly, doing stuff, and then working out what to change to make yourself more effective. And one thing we're really, really not good at, particularly in Britain, is this idea of asking for help. In this current environment, asking for help is massively beneficial, and it's important we keep our heads up and keep helping all of each other through this whole situation. So what are the things that we need to keep our heads up and keep a strong spirit? Well, the first is that sense of direction, a concrete understanding of what we're doing and why. The second is the sense of value, that we matter, that we do, what we do matters, that the things we produce matter to people. And the third is the sense of togetherness that we have. There are others alongside us who share the first two with us, that care, that are after the same thing as we are, and we can all help each other along. As a leader, you can provide these for your people. As a community, you can provide these for each other. So you can do it by asking and receiving help. So there you go on the slide. You're not alone. You can look at your friends and family to help you through the situation. There's business people around, there's expertise around. Your customers and suppliers use you for a reason, and that whole chain relies on each other. So ask. Your employees want to have meaning, they want to have direction. There's advisors. You wouldn't get through this presentation without a plug for advisors. And finally, just ask for help. So there we go, back to the Kubler-Ross curve. You know, just to remind you there, the 6 steps that we've gone through will take you through the 5 main stages of that change curve and get you through to acceptance as quickly as possible, so that you can start making decisions, taking action, and moving forward. And how can we help with this? Well, there's help available. There's incredible support available from all sorts of different sources, probably starting from this very Chambers of Commerce that you're visiting at the moment. But on the slide there, Business Doctors is paying it forward with a number of things that I'd like to offer, which starts with a free 1-hour Zoom call for a free health check in your business to understand your difficulties and pain. 2 tools that we have made available on our website. One is called Flow, and that is a cash flow management tool that is free to download, use for 30 days, and really get to grips of what money is coming into and out of your business so that you can make some key decisions. The other one is called Pulse. Pulse, as in keep your finger on the, is your ability to not only look at your cash flows and your business that's coming in and out, but you can also use that as a forecasting and planning tool. We're moving into a situation in a few months' time where nobody can really tell you what the situation is going to be and what the economic environment is going to be. So the ability to forecast and experiment with different scenarios on your business will be incredibly beneficial so that you can plan for it. So start the conversation. There is my contact details. Drop me an email or give me a call for that 1-hour Zoom call. And if you go onto our website at www.businessdoctor.co.uk/don't panic, you'll find Flow and Pulse and a number of other free downloadable templates, tools, sets of top tips and advice, and some other stuff that you will actually have to pay for, but there's a boatload of really useful business stuff there at your disposal. So please do go there, have a look, and if you'd like a chat about how to use it to best effect, please do get in touch. So that is me. Thank you very much, Yasmin, again for having me along for a second time, and open to your questions.
Great. Thank you, Jason. If anyone does have any questions, please pop them in the chat box, or if it's easier, just unmute yourself and ask one.
Hi, Jason. I've got a question.
Yeah, thanks.
Have you had any dealings with the businesses trying to apply for the Sybil's bank loan yet?
I have done. And in terms of the application for Sybil's, I think there's been a lot of controversy of people going backwards and forwards, getting rejected, what the banks are demanding, etc. So my advice to any small business that is going to apply for any kind of loan is, firstly, understand what it is that you're trying to do. Having that goal and understanding what it is you're trying to do allows you to understand what the money is going to be spent on, because exactly, and how you're going to pay it back exactly, because anybody who wants to lend you money wants to know the answer to those 2 questions. And though for anybody's business, if you don't really require the details of the bank to produce that information or to prepare that information. So work out what it is you want the money for, exactly how it's going to be used, how it's going to be paid back, and then you can start to put that same information to all the different lenders to get your loan approved at the correct kind of rate and risk profile.
Thank you.
Okay, we just have a question from Graham. I don't know if you can see that, Jason, in the chat box. I can read it out if it's easier.
Yeah, I'm just scrolling through, Graham. Good idea to offer delayed payment terms to your customers at this difficult time. Yeah, Graham, I think delaying payment terms, it's down to the conversation and the trust that you have between things. But you know that you need to preserve cash. A lot of people have used different mechanisms for it. For instance, people who have forward paid, if people have bought something from you, can you give them a voucher instead of cash back? The airlines have done something like this by giving people deferred or airline ticket vouchers. A lot of eventing type industries have given people, told people to hang on to their tickets for next year's event, etc., Glastonbury and those sort of things. So there's a number of ways you can do it. It's the same thing with professional services, haircuts, massage services, and things like that. Can you sell vouchers, gift cards, all those sorts of things? So there's a number of different ways you can keep cash in the business, but still be able to hang on to those customers.
Okay, thank you. Has anyone got any other questions? If not, I think that's it.
That's brilliant. Anyway, get in touch if you've got anything more or if you'd like to have a chat.
Yes, okay. So if anyone needs to be put in touch with Jason, please let me know, or I'm sure he wouldn't mind if you directly message him. Thank you ever so much for joining the virtual networking session. I hope you've all enjoyed it. If you would like to keep informed with our webinars, I'm just going to put our email address in the chat box there, and we can sign you up to those. But thank you ever so much for your time, Jason. I hope everyone found that useful, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of the week. Take care, everyone. Bye.
Thanks, Yasmin. Thanks, Jason.
Thanks, Yasmin. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Good job,
Bye.
Yasmin.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. Good luck, everybody. Good luck.
Thanks, Graham.